Good evening, everyone. We're continuing with 3 minutes of Tehillim. We're up to Perek, Hey Dalet, Psalm 84. Pasuk Hey in this Perek is one of the most famous psukim in all of Tehillim. Ashrei Yoshve Veisecha Od Yalu Chaselu. We just said it a few moments ago. And it's interesting, we call Ashrei Ashrei. It's really Tehillah LeDavid. Tehillah LeDavid, Perek Kuf Mem Hey, 145 is Ashrei, but we call it Ashrei because of the psukim that we introduced with, which is this pasuk and another pasuk. Ashrei ha'am shekol chalo, it says Ashrei ha'am Hashem Elokav. 3 times it says Ashrei in those first 2 psukim. This perhaps is a reference point to a Gemara in Brachos, because the Gemara in Brachos tells us that if somebody says Tehillah LeDavid 3 times, b'chol yom, every single day, then muftach lo shulam ben olam haba, that the person is promised that he will be someone who has a portion in the world to come. Why is it so important that we say Ashrei 3 times? What's so special? It's my ticket to heaven. If I say it 3 times, why is that so important? Also, another interesting halacha, the Ben Ish Chai says that if a person, for whatever reason, comes into shul, needs to pull somebody out, so he shouldn't just come into shul and, call their friend out. What should he do? Rather, he should stay in the shul a little bit and say a pasuk or something like that. He says, if you're not going to say a pasuk, or maybe some Tehillim person, maybe you don't know it's any psukim, or doesn't know Tehillim, or he doesn't have a background, or she doesn't have a sefer, whatever it is, he says one should at least stay either standing or sitting a little bit in the shul, because that also, he says, gam zeh mitzvah, that's also a mitzvah. Why? Because just being in a shul, being in the beisecha of your house, Hashem, is Ashrei Yoshvei. Ashrei Yoshvei beisecha. It's a mitzvah just to be in a shul. So why is that, just being there, doing nothing, not saying anything, just standing there for a second? That's valuable. He says that you should do that before calling out your friend. Why? What is the point of this? So I have to thank Rabbi Yaakov Trump, who pointed out this story. It's I looked it up later. It did happen, or it was written about in a real work. So the following story, I think, he answered both of our questions. Franz Rosenzweig, one of the most well-known 20th century Jewish philosophers, when he was younger, he was prepared to actually convert to Christianity. And he said, I'm going to do one final goodbye to my Jewish roots, and I'm going to go to Kol Nidre. And that was his understanding. He was going to sort of graduate from Judaism into Christianity. It was more compelling to him. And he said, and Ilo Yom Kippur, I'm going to say goodbye to my Jewish roots. So he attended a shtibel in Berlin, and we don't know exactly what happened, but it changed his whole approach. And he decided to dedicate himself to basically rediscovering Judaism. He became one of the thinkers and the philosophers of Judaism based on that experience in 1913 in the shtibel in Berlin. So, what was it about that experience? I don't know for sure, but maybe I don't know if he was davening anything, I don't know what he was doing, but I think that we underestimate the power of the experience of being in a shul with other Jews. Just being there, just being in a place where people are dedicating themselves to Hashem, to their better parts of themselves, of yearning, of desire for to become better and to improve. Just being around that is important. I think that's why we had said before, Ashrei, if you say Ashrei 3 times, because we're reminding ourselves that if you say this 3 times, you remind yourself of this experience and the power and the spiritual power of just being around other Yid and other Jews, davening, being in a place which is dedicated to that, the power of a shul. That 3 times a day, if you remind yourself of that you're muftach lo ben olam haba, and that's why specifically the yoshvei beisecha, just to sit, just to be in a place of a shul, that's valuable in and of itself.